like I feel like the whole video is like, rather than focusing on becoming like doing the external things to get success, it's about doing the like internal stuff to feel successful, you know, because that is actually what really matters. So these are things how you can feel more successful, rather than chasing external stuff like that make you think you're more like you're gonna be more successful or something, you know. Hi, it's Monita, and this video is for you if you feel like that you've recently, or even like longer or your whole life, have been too focused on accomplishing things. If that has been like your background, like your subconscious vibe for a long time now, and you're truly fed up with it and you're like, what the fuck? How can you become like accomplished or like successful if you always feel like you have to do something to, you know, like in the back of your head, like everything you do is like kind of directed at like getting ahead and getting there. It's like, how can you really be, you know, enjoying the moment, and like not even just enjoying it but also feeling accomplished, you know? So I feel like the key to that is, and I feel like then that naturally will bring you what you want anyways, to feel accomplished right now. And I'm doing this video because yesterday I had like a massive realization that everything I did was for success, and it's always like, okay, I need to reach this, I need to reach this. I make kind of spiritual music, right? And I was always like, okay, what can I do to reach the next point? What can I do? And like at the moment I'm also in like an office job, and then it's like, what can I do so I get more money, so I can like, you know, like stop working. And I will stop working anyways because it's just temporary. But then it's like, oh, what do I do like once the job ends, like, you know? And it's always like accomplishment rather than just being like the moment right now. Everything is like, you know, like I have everything I need in this moment right now. And then sometimes that makes you forget, you know, if you're always like so focused on success. So or like external success. Let's get into the video. I'm German, if you couldn't tell by my accent. Point number one is to notice. Actually, people always give you like teachings, and you know, like you get inspirations from them or whatever, but or like, you know, like those inspirational things. But for me, like always just in hindsight, when I look back on them, I'm like, oh, that's what they meant. And back then I was like, those teachings could have really helped me, but I didn't even realize that like what they were talking about. I thought I understood it, but I actually didn't understand it, because there's like levels to each thing, right? So when you understand, like, you know, you could listen to this video and be like, oh, actually no, I'm not, you know, like you don't do that much or whatever, because I also feel that way. I'm like, wow, I could do so much more, blah blah blah. But at the same time, that is exactly what I mean with the always thinking I have to do more. I don't do enough. I don't enough. So yeah, what was point number one again? The first point is like to shut up your inner critic, you know, because that's also a realization I had yesterday, where it's like everything I do, like even when I'm happy, you know, like the critic comes in and it's like, oh, okay, now I have to do all like this all the time. And like, for example, I don't know, like I went like this today at work, like I took like a little break. I went to Leon and I got like a matcha latte and like a porridge or whatever, and then I woke back and I was like, wow, it's autumn, it's so pretty, everything is so beautiful. And then my inner critic came in and was like, oh yeah, okay, so you have to do, or my inner, like not even like inner critic, and then inner rule maker, you know, and it's like, oh, you have to do this now every time, so every morning, and then like this thing tries to make like rules, so I always do it. But then I'm not a rule person, I don't like rules, so why am I making rules for myself? So it's like, no, next time I feel like going, I just go without having like everything to have like everything, without needing everything to be a rule, right? So yeah, like maybe pay attention, like, you know, when you feel and then like also the way I realized is like when I make a lot of voice notes to my friend, right? And then I tell her like, oh wow, so pretty, it's autumn. And it's like, oh, I mean, it's the last day of August now, filming it, but, or like tomorrow's the last day of August. And then I was telling her, and then and then my critic came in and was telling her, or like my rule maker, and was telling her like, oh yeah, like now I think I'm gonna do this every day, you know, then and then. And I felt like, oh, it took kind of the happiness away, because like my inner being is like, oh, I just wanted to like enjoy this moment. Like, why do you try to make it into like a rule to now do it every time? Why do you try to manage my like happiness and stuff? And because a big part of my happiness is also spontaneousness. And why would I want to kill that, you know? So it's like recognizing what part of you is really you, and what part of you like of your mind is like actually, you know, something that kind of just wants to take the fun away, or wants to put things into rules, or like wants to, you know, like kind of, but it's kind of cute as well of that part, because it's like it wants to make sure that you always like be happy or something. It wants to like plan your happiness. Kind of, it's kind of cute. It's like the intention is nice only. Yeah, thank you. Next. No, but like truly, like, thank you, you know. Yeah, so that is part one, like recognize when the inner critic comes in, and then be like, okay, bye. Or like, you don't even have to be okay, bye, because again, like maybe this is like my inner critic, aka rule maker, talking again, because I'm like telling you what to do. Then like point number 2 is like, and like this one helps me like no matter what, like even if it's like another topic or something, it's like deciding, like the power of your decision is like, I don't know, like it's something else. Like I already do this since years, because I realized like, whoa, every time I do something that I don't like, or like I am a way I don't like, or I worry too much or whatever, I tell myself, like I ask myself, do I want to be this person? And then I'm like, actually no, I don't want to be that person that like worries like all the time, or like that is concerned, or that is like, in this case now, is making so many rules, and like I don't know, like I don't want to be that person, or like that person that thinks I have to accomplish things and be like, you know, and plan it and whatever. Like I rather, like the person that I want to be is like free. I want to be wild and free, so wild and free. And yeah, I don't know, like that's just like, maybe you can take a paper or something and write the characteristics of your, like the person that you want to be. And like I did that like in the beginning of 2021. It was crazy, because I wrote down old personality and then new right next to it, and then like I wrote how I perceived myself then, and then on the other side I wrote how I would like to be, you know. And now when I look at the list, like even half a year later, when I look, because sometimes it's good to understand, you know, because it helps you with point 1 as well, like recognizing it. And then because that's, I feel like that, like I don't know, like I hear not that many people talk about it. They're just like, oh, you have fear of success or fear of being seen and blah blah blah, but my brain is like, no, I don't. But then when I really go deep, or like, you know, when I progress, and then I'm like, oh, okay, actually I think I do have fear of being seen, you know, even though I'm like, no, I want to be this music artist, I want to be on stage. I used to be on stage a lot. I used to be a lot in front of the camera, like music video modeling, and like, you know, like loads of things. Like I was on stage, like background dancing and whatever. So I was like, I don't have fear of being seen. But then I actually do, on like some deeper, like on a deeper level. And that's why I didn't like 100% like enjoy like those things. Like I mean, I do love it, like I do love that lifestyle and everything, but like now I can tell like why I had like, you know, sometimes like anxiety and stuff like that, you know. So now I'm actually just recently I figured out like, oh, actually I think I do have fear of being seen, because it's like fear of being seen for who I am truly, you know, like not just the best part of me, but like every part of me. And then yeah, and then I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. Now I know, so now I can be aware of it and be like, okay, now I can fix it, you know, or not fix it, not that anything is broken, because that's another thing, like nothing is wrong with anything, like you can choose whatever you want, you know. That's why, like, that brings me back to the point, right? Because then you just pick the person that you want to be. And like the thing is, I feel like most of the stuff that you truly aspire to be, but don't, first of all, like shake it out, and don't do it in like an energy of like, oh my god, I want to be this person. Like do it in like a light, nice energy. Because I feel like when you're like too serious, like for me at least, like I realized that is like my ego like happens in like seriousness, you know, because then like I'm trying to, I don't know, like think too much, protect myself or whatever. And then when in that mode, if I then write down, I wanna wake up at 5 a.m, but like that's not a personality anyways, you know, waking up like early or whatever, or like doing this and then waking up and then doing this and blah blah blah. I also, like, the past weeks or months, I had like a very good routine, like after work. Like that's why I work, like I start work earlier so I can, like, you know, go to the gym or music studio after. But the past 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks, I've been cancelling everything. I've just been going home, and I've been allowing myself to do that because, like, it makes me feel like, you know, like I don't pin recognizing. Oh yeah, like choosing, and then you literally choose, you know, that, like, you know, you're like, I don't want to be that person, I want to be that person. And then it's fun because if you think about it, like, I think about it as like movie character vibes, you know, because then I'm like, oh, like I want to be that, like, you know, I want to be that character. And then you like, and then like I feel like the things that you naturally come up with, like from like a light, nice vibe, are like what you truly are anyways, you know, because like you find it cool, you resonate with it so much, and that's why like you want to be like that and you like it, you know. Exactly. And like, for example, me, like I love like Captain Jack Sparrow. It's like, and I think why I've always resonated with him so much and I loved him so much is because I love his like carefree vibe, you know, like it's so nice and like it's so like me. But when I'm too much like in my like the rule maker vibe, or like in the like ego protect myself vibe, then I don't allow myself, you know, then I'm like, I become very serious, and then I'm like, oh, but then I just have to remember and remind myself, like, no, that's not me, I don't know, and I want to be that. Exactly. And then also never ever judge yourself for if you ever are like this other person, because like the roommate and stuff, like it brought me like to good places and stuff, I think, as well, like, you know, so I'm appreciative. And maybe like you needed it up until this point, you know, or maybe you will need it again a little bit in the future, like however, you know, like it's nothing bad about that as well. And then the next point would be like, that leads actually into the next point, is like nothing is meaning except the meaning that you give it, you know. Nothing is meaning except the I was about to say it's like this and that song, but the thing is, like, it's one of the songs that like I started over a year ago and I never finished, so you don't know the song. But yeah, like nothing is meaning except the one that you give it, literally. I don't know, like for example, like I'm drinking prune juice and then like my meaning is like, yeah, it's nice, it's like a snack, I have like an ice cube in it, that's why it's like cling cling, and helps the digestion as well. I don't know, and some people might be like, ew, how disgusting, prune juice, look how rippled they look, and it's just so thick and like blah, and like it's, but the prune juice stays the same, you know, it's like the same. But like some people might get like, like, you know, there are people who have banana phobia. They're scared of bananas. I met two actually. I don't know, like I feel like the whole video is like, rather than focusing on becoming like doing the external things to get success, it's about doing the like internal stuff to feel successful, you know, because that is actually what really matters. So these are things how you can feel more successful, rather than chasing external stuff like that make you think you're more like you're gonna be more successful or something, you know, like I don't know, external stuff like everything, like gym, healthy eating, this and that, blah blah blah. But you can literally just be like and just focus on the internal, and then like naturally your body will gravitate to whatever is best, you know, like, and then even shut out your mind, or like not shut it out because it's sweet as well, right? But trust yourself. If you feel like maybe having chocolate or something, then do it. If you feel like sleeping in, then do it. If you feel like, you know, like, because I don't know, like I do really believe in that, you know. Some people are like, yeah, you have to be careful with that, blah blah blah, but I do really believe in that, and sometimes I forget, and then I have to remind myself, hence the video, right? Because it's also like a reminder for myself. And point 4, yeah, know that you can literally become like a whole different person, because I have the best, like, or like not even a whole different person, because the person you are is like super beautiful and stuff, but like trust that you really can remove belief systems that are not beneficial to you, you know. And like it just happened, like you don't have to force it externally. Like the perfect example is me and spiders, because like I used to be so scared of spiders my whole life. I was so like, you know, one time there was a spider in my room. It was nighttime. I couldn't sleep in that room because I couldn't find the spider, so then like I went to my friend's place at like nighttime just to sleep there, because I couldn't be like with the spider alone in the room, you know, like because I couldn't, I don't know, I was really scared. And then now I'm not scared of spiders at all anymore. Sometimes my body still, when I see one or something, sometimes my body still remembers that I used to be scared, and then I remember like, oh, actually, like I'm not that scared anymore, you know, like I'm literally not scared anymore. Like I can just, you know, bring it outside or whatever. And like me, like 3 years ago, could have never ever imagined it. And then like how it relates to the external circumstances, like I didn't do anything to get rid of my fear of spiders. It just happens with the person that I became, you know. I don't know. So yeah, maybe that's like timeline jumping or shifting, but I feel like it had to do because then I embraced more of my feminine energy, and the feminine energy is like, I feel like, is wildness, and a lot of wildness and stuff we don't really allow ourselves. And then like because we are like control, and like I feel like the fear of spider has to do with that fear of like not fear of, but like with trying to control things too much and whatever. Okay, my battery is empty, but yeah, I think this is the video, so I hope you got something out of it, and bye.